In a story we had yesterday, Gary Axelbank uncovered more than one reason why building new tennis courts in Cortlandt Park may not be such a good idea. A colonial graveyard and a Native American burial ground may be disturbed if the bulldozers move in. In a follow-up story tonight, Gary will look at other issues surrounding the proposed tennis courts.
The debate on the proposal to build 6 new tennis courts in Cortlandt Park has not been limited to a discussion of the historical value of the southern section of the parade grounds. There's also the issue of money. Councilwoman June Island, whose office is behind the proposal, has isolated $750,000 for use on the project. For this Bronx resident, that seems like a lot of money, especially when a Riverdale Press comparative study found that courts were cheaper in other municipalities.
The problem I have with that is that Scarsdale, an affluent community up in Westchester, would do the same 6 courts and it would cost about $210,000 at the max. They said $30,000 to $35,000 a court. Same type of courts we're talking here, a hard true 14-foot fences or whatever. So it should be $210,000. So there's a problem. There's over $500,000 missing that I can't figure out what they're going to be spending it on. Well, the Riverdale Press did an editorial where they called Chicago, another major metropolitan city, and they would only spend maybe $400 some odd, so we're still talking $250,000.
The press report also compared the $750,000 courts with a recent renovation of a Kingsbridge apartment building at only $200,000. But whether or not the courts are too expensive, community board members say that this money allocated for the courts cannot be used for anything else, otherwise it will be lost. So one way or another, there will be new tennis courts in Cortlandt Park. All this aside, the issue of where to put the courts remains a sticky one, given the history behind the southern section of the parade grounds.
It's a microcosm of American history. You got the Indians, you have the Dutch, you have the American Revolution. George Washington stayed in the mansion. Any other site in New York State, New York City, would love to have something from Indians to the Dutch to the Revolution to the burial ground. It's all right here. And again, out of 1,200 acres, I think they could leave these 5 acres or thereabout free for history.
What makes a neighborhood stabilize, it's the facilities that it provides for the public. We're very happy to see that this is a neighborhood that entertains all sports. Right out there we have football fields, track meets, baseball fields. There's a paucity of tennis courts. And you know, if you go up to Seton Park and you come here on a weekend, you'll see people become discouraged. A number of people, you know, go into their budget and spend the $35 to hire a private court and then get mad at me because why is it taking you so long to get those tennis courts?
Local politicians have also been taking sides on this complicated issue of new tennis courts in Cortlandt Park. Although Councilwoman June Island is sponsoring the tennis court proposal, she declined an invitation to speak on camera. But Assemblyman Oliver Capel, in a letter obtained by BXNY, urges Community Board 8 to reconsider the location. He cites the historic significance of the area and offers 2 alternatives. Why not build the courts either near the Cortlandt Stadium or on the area adjacent to the Cortlandt stables?
I still think that the viable spot then should be up at the stables, where the funding that was given by June Island to do the study on Cortlandt Park recommended. The tennis club, Cortlandt Tennis Club, wanted it up there, and I think they could satisfy everybody's wishes by putting the tennis there, putting bathroom there. You have parking, you have buses that go up there. It fits all the needs if that's the criteria.
Like any good tennis match, the players are volleying the issues of cost and location back and forth. But the advantage will be won in the long run, as Cortlandt Park will eventually get new tennis courts. From Cortlandt Park, I'm Gary Axelbank for BXNY.